Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia, and with me today we have Brandon.
Hello.
And it's Nick's birthday, so
It
surprisingly he didn't
is.
want to spend it with us.
Yeah, I mean, can you blame him? I don't know.
I'm surprised that, he wasn't like, oh, hey, next week's my birthday.
Yeah, he didn't even tell us.
Yeah, so.
I guess he just didn't want anyone to know.
Or maybe he forgot. It's possible.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, we're here talking about games and things. Now let's see, what do we got this week? Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah, I
Sparks of Hope.
got like nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big new thing. More Bayonetta 3 news.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I guess those are things that we can talk about. So, all right, ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. All right, I guess we'll start talking about Mario and Rabbids. That's new. That's exciting. I didn't play terribly much of it because, it's kind of the issue that we were talking about last week when you were talking about games that you wanted. And, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope has been getting great reviews, and I'm sure it's a fantastic game, but it is, just not what I'm in the mood for right now. So
exactly.
Probably have not put a ton of time into it. Not probably, I have not. So, but so far it seems really good. It definitely is. I probably got maybe 2 or 3 hours into it.
Okay.
I would say. But it definitely plays a lot better than the original. It's I'm at the first area, it's a beach area. But you can walk around, it's open. There are enemy encounters. It's not set encounters like it was before. You might be walking around and there's a Goomba, and then it will take you into a set little mini Goomba stage. You have to fight off just some random enemies kind of thing. There's all these mini side quests that you can do, and unlike the last game, last game had side quests, but they're all puzzles. This one's actually side quests where they are actual events and things to do. So sometimes they're puzzles, sometimes they're battles, sometimes they're chains of side quest things. So yeah, so there's a bunch going on. I mean, I like it. I like what I played so far. There's different layers to it too, because you can, you have, like I said last week, you have I forget what they call the Rabid Lumas. Sparks, maybe? I think they are called Sparks.
That makes sense.
Yeah. They're the things that augment your weapons. Your weapons are otherwise just kind of the same. And if you want to change out the abilities, you just change the sparks that are associated with the character. And then you have each character is their different kind of weapon class. Mario's all around, Luigi's a sniper again. So you got all that stuff. And then when you go into the battle, you can pretty much move around as much as you want until it's time for you to shoot. So that is the stopping point for your character. Once they decide to do a shooting action, they're stuck wherever they are. So you can run through, dash. You can switch characters, make one jump on top of another one for a hero jump, switch back, move around, find cover, do shooting. So it's pretty versatile in that way. It seems to move a lot faster because you're moving all the characters at the same time instead of one at a time like it was before. So I don't know. I mean, it seems it's everything the reviews that I've seen have said, everything that people have said about it, seems it's a great sequel to what was already a great game.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised by it. But that is I just haven't been super engaged by it, and it's not the game.
Just haven't really cared to play that much, more or less. Just whatever.
And Mario and Rabbids, well, I did like the first one, Kingdom Battle. That one took me a while to just be in the right mood for it too. It's not nothing about the game, nothing to do with the quality of the game. It's just like I said, this is not what I'm in the mood for right now. So it's just going to take a bit for me to get there. And that's where I am. So.
All right. I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else exciting to say about it. I'm sure there is more. But like I said, a lot of it is I just kind of I really only dabbled on the surface of it. So it's your characters are back. You have, the Rabbids doing things. Oh, the Rabbids are voice acted now. Actually, they talk. They talk.
That's weird.
Mario Rabbid kind of sounds like Danny DeVito. Oh, I'm walking here.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I didn't like it at first. Mario Rabbids kind of grown on me. Rabbid Peach, not as much. I think
Okay.
that's kind of it depends on the Rabbid. I don't mind it like Mario Rabbid because it's very cartoony ish.
Hmm.
But like the Rabbid Peach was just kind of like not in the same direction as like what I would imagine. So yeah, I mean it is what it is, I guess. So but yeah, it's kind of funny. I don't know. I met Edge, that weird Rabbid, who's not Rabbid Bowser apparently. I don't know what he is. So um so yeah, I don't know. Do you have any questions about it? I don't know.
Uh,
I didn't really have a lot to say about it yet, so I can't talk too much about it.
no, not really. I mean, hmm. No, I really don't. I really, really have no idea what to say or ask about the game. It's just kind of been one that's been on my radar, but I haven't really cared a lot, you know? It's
Mm,
not that I don't care because I don't think it's a good game, much like you were saying. It's
yeah,
just I just don't care. You know what I mean?
yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's fine. It's, like I said, it's a great game. I'm just not in the mood for it right now, just because there's a lot of other
Yeah,
things going on. I mean, I'm really
yeah, it
excited for
makes sense.
Bayonetta 3,
Hmm.
um,
I mean,
because that is.
I am too now. We got so much to talk about with that. Oh boy.
Now, did you change your position on it now, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, gee, I wonder. Come on, all right. Listen, yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit, okay? We'll
Yeah.
talk about
Mhm.
that in a little bit. Because I'm
Um,
very upset about that, to be completely honest.
no,
Like,
that's
very,
fine.
very upset.
Trying to think if I had anything else.
I played some, like, Fall Guys, right?
Hmm.
Mm, it's just, I didn't play much of anything this week. I played some Fall Guys. So I played some Bayonetta 2. That was cool. I went back and played some of that.
Bayonetta 2. I was going to talk about that. That's what I
Oh,
was going
there
to
you
talk
go.
about
There you go. That's
because
something to
I finished
talk
that
about.
last week again. I thought it played really well. I had a good time with it. So I don't know, just mostly because I wasn't in the mood for fucking around with a game that was going to frustrate me right away. I
Hmm.
put it on easy and just kind of because I was playing mostly for the story, anyways. Um, and I know some of it has to do with just the difficulty and the things that are like associated with it. But like I feel like a very good Bayonetta player when I was playing on easy compared to like how it usually is when I
Nice.
play. Because it has me like bouncing around and doing like all these combos, and I was getting like gold and like pure platinums and like great scores on these levels. And I'm like, I know if I was on normal, like I wouldn't come anywhere close to this. Like I played on normal, I think for the first 3 stages, and my like rankings were like bronze and stone, and then all of a sudden I switched to easy, and I'm like gold and pure platinum. So, um, although I do think on the flip side, like for someone like me, there is a like if I was gonna go through and play through it again, like it would give me a what's the word I'm looking for, or like what's the direction I'm looking for? A means to like accumulate rings so I can actually get items that would make the game more playable for me. Um, if that makes any sense.
Okay. So, I mean, like, what'd you think when playing it again?
I thought it was good. It's weird because like the story in Bayonetta 2, I remembered it being super convoluted. It is still super convoluted.
Hmm.
And I could remember like the big bullet points for it. But I think that's the thing that's weird about this game compared to like a lot of other games, like like Metal Gear Solid or something like that. Like I haven't played Metal Gear Solid like I don't know, Twin Snakes in like a long time. But I can still remember like a lot of the story beats. Like, oh hey, you go in here and you do this, you go here and you do this. Like it's so weird about Bayonetta. Like I only one and two, both of them. Even though at this point I played through both of them multiple times.
Hmm.
I remember like the big story like things like oh you're going to here to do this, but like all the stuff in between like I don't remember like any of it, like the different locations are like just so like meaningless to me. Like does that make any sense? Like a lot of the lore for Bayonetta is just totally throwaway to me.
I mean, yes and no, I guess. I do get it. But I don't think it's very throwaway, personally. But that's just me.
The big story beats, yes, but like it's like I don't know, like a lot of like the locales in two. Oh, I guess two. I don't think is as bad as one. Like it's some of the stuff I just don't remember. Like it's just
Mm.
like, what's this place? Why is it important? Why am I back here again?
Hmm.
Like those kind of things. Like some of the characters, like I remember a bit. Like the big characters, remember a bit more. But like the little characters, I'm like, who the fuck are you? Like I don't remember who you are. Like why are you back here again? I don't know. It's
I mean, I
interesting.
like a lot of the little characters in the game, to be completely honest.
So I appreciate them as I'm playing.
Hmm.
That's fine. I'm just saying, like after I'm done, like basically, if you aren't Bayonetta, Rodin, or like I don't even remember their other names. Wow, that's bad. Like the Danny DeVito kind of guy.
I like
Or,
him. I don't remember his name either, but I like him like a lot, a lot.
I like him a lot too. I could not tell you his name. I couldn't even remember. Um, or like Jean. Like Jean's great. Like, yeah, like that's just kind of like it's like a lot of like the sub characters. I'm just kind of like, oh, they're cool. I don't remember who they are or where they're from or nothing
Mm.
like that. Like, I do like the Bayonetta universe. Like, I think it's interesting. It's just there's something about it that just kind of like, unless it's like a big thing, it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other.
I
So,
guess that makes sense. Yeah,
mhm.
I get that sometimes too.
But that's it. I don't know. I had a good time with the gameplay. I thought it was a lot of fun. Um, I actually played around with the my new favorite weapon in Bayonetta 2 is the chain chomp. I had such a great time with it.
Oh yeah.
Um, you can unlock it with the amiibo, although I think you can purchase it otherwise
Okay.
as well. I don't think any of the amiibo stuff is like locked to the amiibo. I think it's purchasable as well. Um, but that was such a fun weapon. I had such a good time with it.
Mm.
Um, and then of course, like the last stage, I did like the Arwing. Like, 'cause if you switch into Fox's costume for the last stage, that like fighter level thing, you can do it in Arwing. Yeah, so I did all that. That was fun. I don't know. What are you gonna say about Bayonetta 2? What are your
And
thoughts for
just
playing
that
it?
I went back and played some of it, and it was a lot of fun, and it really got me even more excited to play like the new Bayonetta. Like I'm excited to play it now.
Oh yeah.
Probably even more so than I was before.
Well,
So
I mean, you were not excited to play it last week, so I would hope so.
before last week, okay, let's get back into that real quick.
Because last week, I'm pretty sure you were ready to like this game is dead to me. I think is where like it was
I
below
mean, yeah,
Fantasy Star Online too.
it was. It really truly was. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, man, two's fantastic. And I agree with you. Like it really got me excited to play it again. I think I might just boot up this game on easy, just because like that's just kind of I'll just fuck around with it and just have a good time and not
I'll
worry about
definitely
the
play it on
combos.
a much higher setting
Right.
than easy.
There's nothing wrong with. I don't think there's anything wrong with any of the settings in like these kind of games. It depends on what you're looking for.
Hmm.
Um, I just suck at the combos. So playing off easy, like I said, it gives me the ability to get like halos easier, so I can
Yeah,
get items, so I can get combos easier later. So that's how I look at it. Like if I go through and
yeah,
play it again, yeah,
that's
I'm gonna
fair.
be like, yeah. And it looks like a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I'm excited to see how Jennifer Hale does in the role. I'm sure she'll do a fantastic job. I've not seen too much of her. I tried like looking up clips to see because I know they put a bunch of stuff out because they've had like
Oh yeah,
playthroughs and videos and stuff. But if you try to search that now, it just shows you controversies and not what
yeah,
you want to say. So
yeah.
yeah,
That's kind of an issue.
yeah. But the game is all preloaded on my system, so this
Nice.
time next week we'll be able to talk about Bayonetta.
And talk about it. We will.
So, yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say Bayonetta wise?
Everything I've seen from Bayonetta 3, that game's going to be fantastic, and I'm very excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really like the long and short of what I have to say about Bayonetta as a whole.
Not unreasonable.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those games that like I said, I've been keeping an eye on since like the beginning, since like it was announced, more or less, which was before the Switch. So like, yeah, it's just crazy how far it's come. And speaking of crazy, it's also crazy the amount of bullshit that went on with the with the yeah, I just want to move on. I just want to talk about this right now. All right. We don't
Okay.
have a
Yeah,
whole lot to talk about. I just want to talk about this right now.
that's fine.
So, I am very much for voice actors getting what they deserve.
Oh, absolutely.
That is my stance. last week I was very, very gung ho about how I felt about everything just in general, and I was pretty upset, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
Can I just say something really quick?
Yes.
So remember that when I was just like, let's go in like the extreme devil's advocate and say
Yes.
that I was like, I'm like, oh, I was right with the most cynical possible.
You were actually right using the most cynical take you could possibly use. And I'm incredibly confused about a lot of things here for very many reasons. Not least of which is the fact that why would you ruin your entire career? Like, you gained nothing from it.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
literally nothing. It doesn't make any sense. So I was looking at how bad things have been for a lot of voice actors lately, I was definitely on the side of there's no way this is a lie. This would be the dumbest fucking lie ever. No one is this stupid.
Yeah, I think that's where a
Well then,
lot of people came into it originally. Like, oh, this is plausible. A lot of people have been getting, like really kind of shitty.
a lot of people have just been
Um,
getting completely fucked over. I mean, that's just the
yeah,
long and short of it. They've been getting completely fucked over.
and like we
And it,
talked about last week. I mean, there were some red flags when you initially talked about it, but I think a lot
yes.
of people were willing to look past them and get out their pitchforks right
I
away.
mean,
And
I've
then,
looked at the voice acting scene for a while now. Like, I may have mentioned it last week, but if I did, I'm going to still mention it again.
yeah, that's fine.
Uh, and that is the fact that, fuck, hold on, sorry. That is the fact that essentially there is a multi-million-dollar movie that recently released, animated movie, and the lead voice actress for that movie was paid $240 for her role.
Mhm.
That's insane.
Yeah.
When you look at something like that, and then you see the whole, oh yeah, I was only offered $4,000 to voice everything in this game, and it just it makes sense that it was definitely a directors voice actor directors stiffing voice actors essentially, and and I was just like, okay, well, that's definitely what's going to happen. What happened? There's no way anyone would lie about something that is that important, especially when they have all this other people that have come out and been like, yeah, I get the shit in the stick also with attempting to voice act and whatnot. So it's like I
Mhm.
was looking at it that way. I was like, that's got to be it. Like, that has to be it. That has to be what's going on here. The person didn't get the role. It's already been given to someone else. Why would this person be so vindictive as to try to ruin something over a lie? There's no reason for anyone to do that because they're going to ruin their entire career. They're breaking an NDA. They're going to face legal trouble. There's all these millions of things that was like, logically speaking, this should be the case.
Yeah.
This should be the person that's in the right.
Hmm.
But holy shit, if that's not what it was. Like, what the actual fuck?
My best guess, honestly, like thinking about it, is like she has to be. I think a lot of it comes from her not really being part of like the voice acting like scene. Like this is her only role, so she really doesn't know what it's like for the people who do it like all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and like what the expectations are. I think she's looking at it more like, well, if I was an actor, I would be like, I'd be like Brad Pitt of this multi-million-dollar franchise. But the other problem is like, and I said it last week, and I looked a bit more into it since last time because I was like, I remember saying to Brandon, I was like, there's no way this
You're right.
$450
Yeah,
million
you're
dollar
right.
thing is real.
Again, more bullshit.
And
Absolutely more bullshit.
and I've tried to make that math work. And the best guess, have you looked into it at all to try to figure out what people think that she did to
The
get that number?
the No, I haven't.
Okay, so this is what it is. So at least this is what people think it is, because obviously she's not explained where this number has come from, and
Uh-huh.
nobody can seem to figure out where the fuck it has come from.
Yeah.
So they think it's from VG charts, and they think that she misread the charts.
Uh-huh.
I've not used the website enough, but I saw a picture of it yesterday, so I can explain it well enough, I think. So basically, VG Charts breaks it down like it breaks. So if you go to the Bayonetta page, the first line up there is the total sales for Bayonetta for the entire series. So both games. And that number is 3.09 million. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and that makes
The,
sense.
the next line is like Bayonetta 1 sales
Mm-hmm.
um, across all of the systems. So whatever that is, I think it's probably like 1.5
Okay.
million. But then it breaks it down by each system there. Like, oh, like X amount was on the PlayStation, X amount was on the Xbox, X amount was on
Mm-hmm.
the Switch. And
Yeah.
then it does the same thing for Bayonetta 2. Like, hey, here's your total Bayonetta 2 sales, 1.5 million. And then it breaks it down for Switch and I guess Wii U for that one.
Mm-hmm.
They think that instead of her just seeing like the series total, like the 3 million, I
Mm-hmm.
think that she added up each version. So like the 3 million and then the 1.5 and then the 1.5 and then each version separate sales on top of that to get like the 7 or 8 million needed, multiplying it by 60 to get 450 million. So
Wait, why would it be multiplied by 60?
because that's a full price of a game, and that's the other fallacy is because
Oh.
Bayonetta really didn't hit big until it started selling for like not 60. So
Yeah.
it's like it's best sales on like PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC were like, but it was a $20-$30 game. Like most of those sales were not $60 Bayonetta sales. Like um and even if you want to break down like like the Switch sales, like Switch sales for Bayonetta 1 and 2, like yeah, Bayonetta 2 has sold 1 million units on the Switch, but zero of them are $60. So because that game never sold for $60 on the Switch as far as I know. Because it was always bundled with Bayonetta 1, or if you didn't buy it with Bayonetta 1, it was sold at a discount.
I see. I see.
So um so there's no way that that number's real. The other possible explanation that I saw, which is also possible, was that maybe she took the total sales of Bayonetta 1 and 2 and also added in Smash Brothers. And then, maybe she was like, oh, here's the total sales of Smash Brothers, which I also appeared in as Bayonetta. And that's
Oh
what it
my
is.
god, that would be fucking stupid.
Yes. Like I said, there's no way to get $450 million that's not stupid. So she's just she thinks that that series is worth far more than it is, and believe me, it is a great series. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. It is not a $450 million series.
$450 million series? Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Um.
it's fantastic. It's great.
Yeah. And the other thing is too, like I said, like as a voice actor, you do give these characters life. Like it
Mm-hmm.
is a very important piece that you add to that puzzle. But unlike in movies, you're not the biggest piece of that puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you take a movie with Brad Pitt in it and you swap it with um someone completely different. I was gonna think of a name, but I just can't think of any other actors off the top of my head for some reason. Then that's a big difference in terms of like how the movie's acted, like maybe even how it's interpreted. It makes a big difference. With this, like you get someone who can kind of you know breathe similar life into the character, and you're going to get similar results. A lot of the big work on this game, ultimately, at the end of the day, is it's the back end, it's the gameplay, it's the that kind of stuff that you have hundreds upon hundreds of man hours working on over the course of years, not the voice acting that was completed in 10 hours in a recording studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, which is crazy. You know what else I did too? I did the math. Like if you made well, okay, no, I'm gonna stop there. We'll stop there for now because it will come up later.
Okay.
But yes, that was the thoughts I just wanted to share at least right away. Like I don't know where she got that number from, and the fact that she thinks that she's entitled to a lion's share of that number is just kind of it's crazy. So okay. Anyways, back to your thoughts.
Yeah, about the game itself, or about
Well,
the
I mean,
entire thing.
I think we're talking about the controversy, but I mean, you can talk about whatever you want, Bayonetta 3.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that the game itself is actually gonna do better now because of this controversy, because of everything, this dumbass setup. That's what I wanted to say essentially with this, this part of the talk, because yeah, there's just no. it's getting like 9s and 10s across the board right now.
Oh
If you
yeah,
haven't like looked around, that
the
sort of
average
thing.
review score I saw, I think just before it came out, was an 89. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's doing great. Um, there's no way around it, and that's what I was trying to say. This definitely drummed up more interest in the game and series as a whole because of what happened, essentially.
Hmm.
And because of that, I mean, there's just more eyes on the entire series now. And now some people did it out of spite. Like when the original voice actress came out and everyone thought, oh, she's in the right. But now some people are doing out of spite the opposite direction because they're like, fuck that dumb bitch that lied to me. I'm gonna buy the game anyway. Fuck her. And yeah, at the end of the day, the only one that like the only thing they did was sell more copies of the game.
And destroy their credibility. That's
Yeah, yeah, that's
uh,
that's another huge problem.
yeah, it's but yeah, no, I mean, it seems, at least outwardly, I think, and we were starting to see it last week. We were talking about it, but the sales of this game have been boosted significantly because of the controversy. I
Hmm.
think because it's drawn a lot of people's attention to it. Um, so, you know, good for her. I mean, it's the best. This is, sadly, it's probably the best thing that's ever happened to Bayonetta.
Yeah,
Um,
true.
but you know what? Maybe I saw a YouTube video where someone said this yesterday, and I kind of agree with this sentiment.
Hmm.
I would not be surprised at this point if Bayonetta 3 ends up selling more than the entire series combined
I was gonna say
because
the
of this
exact same
controversy.
thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say the
Mhm.
exact same thing. I feel like that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, and it's that's great. I mean, I think this Platinum needs a win. I think at this point they've just been kind of hitting. I just been, I don't know. They've been off the mark
They ain't been
for
doing
sure.
very good lately. They ain't been doing very good. Let's just not even sugarcoat it. That's just the long and short of it. They ain't doing very well right now.
Yeah.
And they failed massively with their last game, which literally got canceled before it was even out for a year. In case you didn't know.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Yep, 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 yep. So when you
Um,
when you look at those
yeah,
two things, it's like, damn,
that
Platinum needs to
wonderful
win right
101
now.
launch definitely did not do
Nope,
as well as they wanted it to.
no, it did not. And that thing's
Um,
like in the bargain bin now. So it's like, okay.
yeah. So I don't know what devil magic they had to work with Nintendo to get that to happen, but I'm sure it was not worth that. Whatever sacrifice they had to make. Um, so I mean, yeah. So I think they deserve this win. I think Bayonetta is a great series. I think that I think people deserve to have a good time with it. I'm glad it's finally getting a lot of the excitement around it that it should have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
mhm.
definitely. Even if it took a lie. Like I can't I still can't believe this shit. It's just my brain is just sitting here and I still can't comprehend why someone would be so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's, well, it's because it's like I said. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have to be right. I mean, maybe I'm not, but that I think that is just, she looked at that
It's
imaginary
not
$450
it's not
million
even
price tag.
that. It's just the yeah, the $450 million price tag. No, it's
Yeah,
not even that. It's just the fact that like I don't know. I
and I think
really
the
don't
most
know.
egregious thing is that she wielded the fans
She did.
against,
Hmm.
you know.
No, 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 no. The most egregious thing is that she lied in a time where voice actors are getting fucked over completely.
Well,
And
that is
that's
true.
going to really set back a lot of the good things that other people have done uh, for like the voice acting scene and for stuff like that in general. And that is the worst part of the entire thing because now people are going to be like, yeah, they're probably just lying. For
Yeah, well, you know,
everyone that comes out and says, yeah, my pay's like really shit for voice acting. But that's, oh God.
but is it really? How many thousands of dollars did they offer
Exactly.
you? I know.
Exactly.
Well, that's what
It's
I was
going
gonna
to.
say too. Like with this, where it's like the math thing I alluded to earlier. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, so it's like she's upset that they offered her $15,000 for 5 days of work.
Yeah.
So that's a whole week. Like if you think about, do you know how much money if you made $15,000 a week? And I know that's not how voice acting is. Like this would be like a monthly thing because you got to line up schedules or whatever. But if you got $15,000 a week for a year, do you know what that comes out to?
So
It's like
I want to agree with you. but I can't do it. And I'm gonna give you a little tidbit of information to help you kind of like understand this a little bit better. People that do voice acting from like the different walks of life of voice acting, be it like animated movies or games or TV shows or what have you, they have to put a lot of strain on their voice. And sometimes the damage that can be done to one's voice with that amount of just different grunts and screams and inflection and changes in voice and whatnot can be like irreversible, and it can cause a lot of problems. And as such, I think when you think about it from like that standpoint, like these people are like stressing their vocal cords. These people are like stressing a lot of things. It's not just sitting there and talking into a microphone for like 8 hours or 4 hours every day. It's like screaming at the top of your lungs. It's like doing weird voices that can cause problems, like because it's not your normal voice and you're having to do an actual voice. And there have been several actors who have actually like completely damaged their vocal cords by doing their characters and stuff like that, and it causes irreparable damage. And when you look at something in that case, and then it's a little bit different than just talking into a microphone for like 4 straight hours, 5 straight hours, that sort of thing. And
It
that's the way
depends
I
on the.
like it. That's the
I mean,
way
I
I
don't
look
disagree
at
with
a
you,
lot of
Brandon.
things
No,
when it
I don't
comes to
disagree
voice
with you.
acting.
I mean, a lot of it depends on what you're doing too.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, if I was going to take it a different way, like I don't think Bayonetta is a screaming game. I don't think I've heard, unless they ever do it and they just don't put it in the game. I've never heard her have to stretch her voice cords like that, you know. Um, but I was just making the point, just in terms of, and I do, and I like I said when I prefaced this too, like I realize that it's unrealistic to look at this as like, if this was your weekly salary kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Because it's not,
Plus, it's
and you're
not.
right,
It's
because
like this is one roll, and then that's it. You're done until you get your next one, whenever that comes. That's
yeah, and
also
that's
another
I
thing
mean
you have
this
to
would
look
be
at.
like yeah, and that's the thing. Like you would look at this as like, hey, this will probably be my gig for like maybe 1 or 2 months. Like
Yeah.
because it depends on the schedule of the game, it depends on what
Hmm.
like you said, maybe you are doing a screaming like a horror game and you're gonna be like
Yeah.
dying all the time. Like, you know, that's definitely a consideration to take into account
Hmm.
versus like again, Bayonetta, which like I said, I don't think she does anything like that I can remember. Um
Not really.
yeah. It's just more like her being sassy. And I don't know. I don't think her voice is terribly different from Bayonetta's either.
Um. Oh. Yeah. No. No. Now that I've heard her voice,
Mhm.
in this case, it's not very different at
Yeah.
all.
It's like Chris
It's
Pratt
actually
doing Mario's voice.
it's actually kind of interesting because like I've heard Jennifer Hale's version of Bayonetta, and it sounds like the original Bayonetta. So it's
Oh,
like,
does it?
okay, yeah, it sounds like she's doing an impression of someone that is not doing an impression. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Where was I going with this though? But yeah, so I mean, in the unrealistic world, like let's say I don't know, like let's say she was doing a Bayonetta TV show, whatever. We had to do like weekly recording, and she was getting like the same amount. Like that would
Uh-huh.
be like she'd be making like $750,000 a year. Like if that was
Yeah.
where she was going with this. Like even if you
Well,
look at it monthly, she would be over. She did this job once a month. She'd be over $150,000 a year.
mm,
Um, like I think I was just putting it into perspective as like that $15,000 for 15 hours of voice acting is pretty nice.
yeah. I mean, when you look at it that way, but you got to stretch that out until whenever the next role is,
No, I know. Like I said,
which isn't
it's a very
guaranteed.
unrealistic way to
Yeah.
look at it. Like if you were say Troy
I
Baker,
would say it's
I'm
a
sure it's
very
probably
yeah,
closer to that
yeah,
further end of the spectrum. If you are, I don't know, whoever voiced Falco in Star Fox, like probably not.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think
Um.
I think the best way to look at it is essentially, I mean, well, Jennifer Hale probably isn't having any trouble. So like that's one thing to look at
Yes.
there. Like this is just another role that she took.
Yes. And also too, I just want to say, like, I think thinking about it now, I feel like her Twitter response Kudos to her, the incredible restraint that she had, um, for whatever she had to go through to get to that point. Um, because I'm sure for like knowing how much she supports, voice actors and
Yes,
making sure that
yes.
they're well taken care of and paid appropriately,
Mhm.
for her to be cast in the middle of this situation as someone who's kind of like the scab sent in to replace someone
Yes, yes,
was how
yes,
she was
exactly.
painted, like, which couldn't be further than the truth.
No,
And
it was
um,
nowhere near the truth. It was very much a lie.
so for her to keep it like just professional to the max and just do her thing and just good for her, like, and just very professional. So yeah. Um, I don't know. Do we have anything else you want to say about Bayonetta?
No, not really.
Okay. I'm excited to hear what you said. I can't wait to see if it is going to be just like the same. So, yeah. All right. Well, what else do you want to talk about?
Dude, what do we have to talk about? I don't know.
Pokemon has had like some new
Oh yeah, I
things.
haven't seen that.
They had like a
But
new trailer come out with a ghost dog today.
oh wait, I have been seeing that picture sent
Hmm.
around places today. Yeah.
Yeah, and they've been
Okay.
doing previews. I guess they've let um different places, I guess, play like an hour or a few hours of like the
Uh-huh.
preview copy of the game. So it seems kind of weird to me that this game is like 3 weeks away and we're just barely scratching the surface of it at this point.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, it sounds like it's really good. It sounds like they got a lot going on. Um, say it's very very open world,
Okay.
so almost to a fault. Um, but it looks like it's pretty good, I guess. So I mean, we'll see how well it holds up through the whole thing. Because I think the big thing is like, can they keep it balanced through the whole experience? So, I guess the only place where you hit a load point is when you enter the main central city. Um, so, yeah, I'm excited for that. That's, I don't know, probably 2 weeks away. I think by the time this podcast comes out, two
Yeah,
three weeks.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I
Um.
I I did remember a few things, and that was that I played a few other games. I really just wanted to shove those in there, but I didn't think about it at the time.
Which games?
Uh, and so I played two games
Yeah.
very recently. One of them was more Strangers of Paradise. I
Okay.
believe I've talked about this already. But basically, that game is so good.
Hmm.
Like I don't have the I can't think of the best way to describe it, but essentially, Metal Gear Rising and like how good Metal Gear Rising is in general. Another Platinum game, by the way. Um,
Yeah.
that game, that game, is what I think Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise will end up becoming,
Hmm.
because it's one of those games that's so it knows what it is and it revels in it. So much so. It doesn't give a shit how campy it is, how goofy it is. It just does what it wants. And the entire time that I've been playing it, I've been having a blast doing so. So there's that. And then another game that I played, interesting enough, because I
Uh huh.
felt like it was I installed Cyberpunk PS5 onto my PS5 and
Oh.
started playing some of it.
Okay.
Interesting enough with this one though, a few things I wanted to mention. It has cross save across the PC version and PS5 version and Xbox version.
Hmm.
So literally, you can take your save from your PC to your PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, and vice versa.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's a really cool little thing that they added to it. And then on top of that, um, it runs way better now. But there's still this tiny little issue where it just seems to crash randomly. And I don't know if it's something I was doing or because I was running with ray tracing or what, but I had it crash on me a few times. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did that happen? So, uh, but otherwise, it's been a lot of fun. I just wanted to throw those out there. You can throw those into gaming when we talk about it. I'm sorry that I did it out of order. My
No,
brain's
I mean
been
there's
very
nothing.
scatterbrained today, and there's
I'm
really
not gonna
not that
re-edit
much
the
to talk
order
about.
for it. I don't care.
Okay,
That's
fuck it.
fine.
All right then.
I,
Cool.
I
Yeah,
don't care
I'm
about those
very
things.
scattered brained today. As you may have noticed. So there's that.
Um, yeah. Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Um, I did see that they announced that they're doing a Fallout update for
Mhm.
Fallout 4
Oh
later
yeah,
this
I saw
year.
that too. Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see? I guess I'm just gonna throw out random shit that I've seen this week, cause fuck it, why not? We're just off the cuff right now anyway.
Yeah.
Um, have you seen any of the stuff from Gotham Knight?
No.
All right, so Gotham Knight is released now, right? I
Uh-huh.
think we talked about it being 30 FPS on consoles.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, there's a reason it's 30 FPS on consoles. It don't even run at that frame rate. And then
Oh
on
yeah.
PC, when it released, the highest of a high graphics card. I'm talking the $1,700 graphics card that you can buy right now, which should
Uh-huh.
keep you like future proof for the next like 8 years or so. Yeah, that isn't even running it on PC correctly. It's like dropping to like the mid 50s and low 40s. It's very poorly made,
Mm.
incredibly poorly made. I like watched some people play it, and I was just like, this looks like trash. First of all, it essentially looks like Marvel's Avengers, like I talked about. And then on top of it, it just doesn't handle well. There's this video I watched where this guy was showing off all his issues and everything, and then he shows his system and has a fucking 4090 in it, and he's like, yeah. So if I'm having these problems, imagine what you will have. So I saw that, and then uh, I think that's about it.
Okay.
There's some stuff I want to talk with you about, like off the podcast.
Yeah, I think the only other news I saw this week, just kind of glancing through, is that Nintendo announced Mario Party 1 and 2 is coming to the Switch
Oh yeah, I did see that.
next week. Yeah.
I saw that.
Which makes me speculate, and I guess I'm not the only one.
Hmm.
Because I thought of this and then I saw other people thinking the same thing online. But so Nintendo announced what N64 games were coming to the Switch
Okay.
in 2022, and those were Pilot Wings, Mario Party 1, and Mario Party 2. And everyone presumed that it would be one each month, like Pilot Wings in October, Mario Party 1 in November, Mario Party 2 in December. Well, now that they're dropping them both at the same time, and December's free, does that mean that GoldenEye is coming out in December?
Oh, that'd be nice. I want to
Yeah,
play that.
I do want to play it too. Well, I mean, I can play it both ways now. I play it on the
Hmm.
N64 on the Switch, or I can play it on Rare Replay on the Xbox. So I'm excited both ways. I get best of both worlds, except not in one, separately. Although I wouldn't play online multiplayer for that game anyways. I'm not. I
Really?
probably, yeah, I think if I play it, well, I mean, I guess maybe if I do it, I would probably see if, like maybe you or Nick wanted to play it like online on the Switch or
I would
something.
love to play
Yeah.
it.
It's been so long, but yeah, I would play it that way with you if you want to play it that way.
That would be a lot of
Um,
fun.
the so yeah, so I mean, I'm very excited for that. And it's been so long. I remember we used to have all these like convoluted rules, like kind of like our like own kind of rules for uh the different ways to play GoldenEye. Like we would do like proximity mines in the basement. That was always one of my
Oh.
favorite ones because you could never see where they were and they would just fuck you up, and it was so much fun. Or sometimes we would like try to like we would go to I'm trying to remember what the level's called right now. I think it was facility.
Facility is
Um
awesome map.
yeah, that's the one where you had like kind of the rooms off to the side with like the different like tanks and everything, right?
Yeah, I think.
I think that's what it was. And then so we would go in that like the area where like all the tanks are stored, and we
Hmm.
would play with the remote mines, and we would try to like barricade ourselves in from like another player. Like it would be like 3-on-1.
Okay.
And just try to like keep the other player out using
Hmm.
remote mines and stuff. It was fun. We always had a really good time.
That sounds like fun.
But proximity mines in the basement. That was my
Hmm.
jam. Like we would usually be like whoever has the lowest negative score was the winner. Is usually how that one would go. So yeah,
That's a
so
funny
hopefully
way to do it. That's a very funny way to do it.
because I think you could do it like by score or by time, right?
I don't remember time, but I definitely remember score.
Yeah, I don't even remember. It's been so long. Yeah, because I mean, it had to have ended at some point because we just kept on going negative. I don't know, because nobody could ever get out of negative. I don't think.
Mm.
Those sneaky proximity mines. Oh, I love them. Yeah, I don't know. And I do want to just play through like the campaign again because that was always fun. It was just like lots of random stuff. So, probably one of the better like movie campaigns, at least for that era, movie video game campaigns. At least played somewhat similar to the movie in some way.
I mean, that's a great movie, by the way.
What
Just
is?
in
Yeah,
general. That just made me think of something. I was watching a video. It was one of the Did you know gaming videos? I'm sure you've watched. Yeah, you've mentioned watching those because they did
yeah,
the Zelda thing.
yeah,
They were talking about the Super Nintendo Lion King game, right?
yeah.
And what they mentioned was you may have noticed like there were stages in the Lion King game on Super Nintendo that had nothing to do with the movie. You recall those, right? Like they weren't
Yes.
weren't from the movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Whereas like, but like they were actually from the movie, right? Is
They
that
were
what you're
actually from
talking
the
about?
movie, but they were cut out before the movie released. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they had the full script of everything that was going to be in the movie, and they made their game based off of that. So the Super Nintendo version of The Lion King is actually a more complete version of The Lion King than the actual Lion King.
That's kind of interesting. I thought. Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
Hmm.
it's really cool. Yeah, I've been actually watching like a lot of horror movies lately. That's what I did. I was gonna play Scorn, but then I heard it's like bad, so I haven't played it yet. Um, I watched Train to Busan and The Wailing. Have
The
you
thing
seen
I've
Train to
been
Busan?
watching, I think I did watch that.
It's a
I'm fairly
Korean
certain. Yes.
horror
No, I mean,
movie
I
about
know
the
it's that.
thing with the
It's like,
train with the zombies and everything.
yes,
It's
I know it's
very,
that.
very
I'm
good.
pretty sure I watched it. I don't remember it, but I'm fairly certain I watched it.
It's very good.
The thing I've been watching a lot lately, it's this British show called Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
Um,
Okay.
I don't even know how I found it. I think it was because we had someone stay at our house last year and
Mm-hmm.
they watched it, and somehow because they watched a clip of it on YouTube, you know how that YouTube is.
Oh yeah.
It's like you must love this,
Mm-hmm.
and so like the clips
That
kept on
starts giving
showing
you
up
more and more and more.
on
Yeah.
my recommendation, so I started watching it, and then I was like, oh, this is really fun, so I'm just gonna start watching the show, and that's kind of what I've been doing. So let me tell you the premise of the show.
Okay.
So basically, they take 5 comedians,
Okay.
and then they give them a task, and it's usually something like really fucking random, not like your normal like do this, like it's random. Like the one I saw yesterday, it's like they gave them like a bucket full of coasters, like you get in like a restaurant, like a bar coaster.
Okay.
And they're like, build the best house of cards that you can.
Mm.
But every so at 60 seconds though, you need to ring the doorbell on the front door, and you need to re-ring the doorbell subsequently 2 seconds less every time. They explained it better in the clue, but basically it's like the first time you ring it, you have 60 seconds. The next time's 58, 56, 54, and just goes down from there. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Uh, Somewhat.
Yeah. So by the time you get down to 0, you have to have the best house of cards that you could possibly build with these bar coasters.
Okay.
And then at the end, the taskmaster rates each of the 5 comedians on like how well they do with the task. And usually in each of the tasks, there's kind of like a cheats. There's usually like some way to fucking like just really cheat the task. Um, like in this particular one of them realized the doorbell was not like a fixed object. Like it actually could be removed. So one of the comedians actually like grabbed it off the front of the house and brought it into the room with him that they were building the house of cards with, and just kept on ringing it from there. And meanwhile, everyone else is running in and out of the room, to the front of the house, ringing the doorbell, going back and trying to build their cards again. And it can end up being like really comical. Some of the stuff that ends up happening is just hilarious. I would just recommend, like, even if you don't want to sit down and like watch the whole show, there's clips on YouTube and you can get a good feel for what it's like. It's just some of the stuff that happens is just so funny. Like another episode, there was one where it's like they walk into this room, and they're like, there's this person sitting in this chair, and their task is like, write the best song about this person that you can.
Okay, that's silly.
Yeah, and so then they got like 5 minutes to ask this lady all the questions that they could, and then like write a song about her. It goes like so many random places like you just don't know. But it's really funny. I recommend checking it out if you like just kind of like that kind of random stuff. And it's a competition, so like the main show, like they have these tasks and they get points for them, and there's a winner for the episode, but then there's a winner for the whole series, which is 10 episodes long. So it's like whoever, you win each episode, and then over the course of the 10 episodes, whoever has the most points wins the whole thing, and they win like a statue.
Yeah. Okay, that's neat.
And it's really hard to describe. Like, you can't imagine how farcical these tasks are, even with me like trying to tell you. Like, there's no, like, you can't imagine them. They're just the most random things. I'm trying to think even like another one. Like, there's one where they had to draw a picture of the host out of balloons, like inflatable balloons, and just like they were on like the yard, and they did it. And like, I don't know, the one girl didn't even realize they had a balloon pump there the whole time. It was just kind of laying out like deflated balloons. It's just, I don't know, it's so random. Like, you just kind of have to see it. Yeah, like I would say, just if you have a couple minutes, check out like a video on YouTube. Not like I said, you don't even have to see like a whole episode. Like, they do like best of clips like the whole time. Like, hey, best of like these moments or whatever. Like, just look at those, because they'll give you the idea of just some of the random shit that they think of. I'll just give you a good feel for like what it is. Although, like I said, my favorite ones are the ones where they like can cheat the task, and they can just kind of figure out like a shortcut to do what they need to do. So, yeah.
Yeah, those sound like the best ones.
Yeah, they're funny. Like, it's just like some of the stuff that they like, the people, like, they even laughed about the doorbell thing. I laughed at you because it's like, as soon as they see because they all do their tasks like separately, like they're not with each other when they do them, and then they come back together, into like kind of like a group setting, and they watch them all on like the TV like together. And like the host even made a comment. He's like, he said to the one guy, he's like, "Oh, you should have seen the dirty looks from the 4 other people when they saw you grab that doorbell off the front of that building." Or sometimes too, they'll give tasks to one person and not to anyone else, and maybe have it be like a bonus task. Like, actually, there was a clip that just came out. I think it was this last week, where it was they had a shopping cart, like, your standard like wire shopping cart, and their task was like to get as much sand in that shopping cart as they can by the time limit. And it was a group task, so there's 3 of them working together. And then the one guy, though, he had like a secret task, and it was like to sabotage the team. And it's like, basically, it's like, you will get full points if your team loses this task, but if you win, you get nothing. So he's like sitting there like just trying to like dump it out, and he got all these looks from his team, and he was just like, "I'm so sorry." He's like, "I had to keep it secret for 4 months." The one guy's like, "No." He's like, "I'm glad we see this now, because at the time I just thought you were a fucking idiot." I don't know. I'm doing a bad job of describing it. Just watch it on YouTube. That's it. Just watch it.
Okay, I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
But if I look into it, then I'll just get recommended it over and over and over again on YouTube.
But it'll be worth it, because it's actually enjoyable.
Okay.
That's why. I don't know. That's all I got to talk about. I don't think I have anything else.
Yeah, I ain't got anything else either. I'm pretty much done.
Okay. Ready to wrap up?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our website, game-crunch.com. You can check out our old episodes there. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook or Twitter. Or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon, any final thoughts?
No, not really.
Yeah. And with that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday, Nick.
And you're not going to hear this, because you're not going to listen to this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? It's out there.
Yeah.
So if anyone questions our dedication to your birthday, It's in audio.
It's true.
Yeah. But anyways, until
I
next
sent
week.
you Bayonetta butt pics. It's true. Before the game even existed.
Rule 34
I'm
bringing in.
that good at what I do.
Anyways, that said, until next week, game on.
Game on. I'm still probably gonna pick it up. I have the eShop credit, from when I refunded it, so fuck it, might as well.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I'm just super excited to play that game.
No, it looks really good. I'm definitely far more excited about that than I am Mario Kingdom's Rabbids Battle.
Yeah,
It just seems like something that I'm just more, I don't know, like
interested in.
yeah, it's just kind of more like the pace that I'm looking for right now. Like I'm just
Mhm.
not looking for like a tragy like strategy game. I'm just looking for something that's just kind of like, beat stuff up and have a lot of fun.
See,
And
that's what I was thinking too. And I mentioned before that was the reason why I was kind of hesitant on the Fire Emblem houses
Mhm.
game from Koei Tecmo, and I just wanted a game that would allow me to beat the shit out of everything and like turn off my brain. That's what Final Fantasy Strangers of Paradise is. It's the game I was looking for, like to
Yeah.
the T. I played that last night some more, and it was so much fun because if you think about it, Final Fantasy 1 is like one of the worst Final Fantasies. That's just the
Yeah.
long and short of it. Strangers of Paradise is a remake of Final Fantasy 1 as a beat 'em up.
Oh, interesting.
It's really cool. You're the Warriors of Light trying to get the crystals and do the thing and stop the bad man. Essentially, that's the entire plot of the game. That's all
Huh.
you need to know, and then everything else is here's some Souls-like elements in a pretty like really well made beat 'em up with like loot grinding and this sort of thing uh, and different combos and a pretty in-depth like fighting system and just go to town and beat the shit out of things. Cutscenes, yeah, we got those, but they're so over the top, batshit stupid that like you'll laugh at them when like the game feels like it's laughing with you at how stupid it is.
Mhm.
Because like this is the game that I told you about before in the past, right? Where the guy in the demo he fought chaos or what he thought was chaos and they explained their backstory and he just looked at them and said that's bullshit and then turned on his Sony Walkman and walked out while new metal music was blaring in his ears.
I remember that. Yeah.
This is that game and it's so good, like it's actually really good.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, I found the game I wanted. There's another game that that I wanted to play now. I already had it, but I found what I wanted to play now. There's another game I really want to play because I've heard that it's gotten way better over time. And after playing Forza for a very long time last week, as well as Grounded for a very long time last week,
Mhm.
I really wanted to play another racing game. And the racing game I want to play is actually Gran Turismo 7. There's still
Oh,
no trial for that game. There's still no trial for that game. You'd
really?
think if you're gonna, have your big tier and be like, oh, play the latest games, do a trial of them. We're gonna do it for all of them. You'd actually do that. They've not done that for like their last 3 major PlayStation titles at
No,
all.
they're not going to do it. They'll do it
They're not
eventually,
going.
like a couple of
I don't think
years.
they are. I really don't. I
I'm not
think
saying
they're
for new
already.
titles. I'm just saying Gran Turismo.
No, I think they're actually going to. Well, you're saying like didn't. I'm saying literally just a demo. Like they're not even releasing the trials, like the 1 hour trial, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
There's nothing. There's nothing for that. There's nothing for Last of Us. There's nothing for any of the games, like they said, because they said, "Oh, we're not going to give you guys the whole game, but you'll be able to try the new games as they release, so you can decide if you want to purchase them." That's the highest tier of the PlayStation Plus new subscription. They haven't done it for like their last specifically PS5 games. So when I see that, and I'm just like, what the fuck is the point? Your premium subscription doesn't work in the first place because the PlayStation 3 streaming still has a lot to be desired based on what game you're playing. The games you can download natively that are PlayStation 1 classics and PS2 classics and other stuff, they're not even doing that anymore. They've added like 2 PS1 classics, and then otherwise they've been like, the BioShock collection, that's a classic because the original BioShock. So we'll just add that. Oh, Crisis, that's a classic. We'll just add that collection. And it's just like, guys, this is not what we wanted. You said it was going to be PS2, you said it was going to be PS1, you said it was going to be this, that, and the other. You've added like 10. You have like 12. And that's in 4 months. This service is shit. I don't know if you're still recording, but you can literally just insert this because I'm just so angry at this service. I hate this service. It's garbage. Extra's good, but like Essentials good because that's just PS Plus. But Premium is fucking dog shit.
Yeah, I don't think anyone. I think nobody expected it to be Xbox.
No, it can't. It literally cannot.
And I don't think they have any intention to either.
No,
I think they just want something that maybe will look like it, but it's not. If you actually like,
you know what comes out in 2 weeks?
What?
God of War.
Oh yeah,
you know what I have seen?
Copies are lurking around.
Yeah, I've seen like zero like coverage of the game though. That's the thing that has me both worried and intrigued because I don't know if they just don't want to spoil anything, or if there's something more there. You know what I mean?
No, I mean I'm guessing it's probably like they're just keeping it tight-lipped. Because I mean, you remember too, we were even talking about just until they announced the date. We're like, this game's supposed to be out by the end of the year. It's like September, and they haven't even announced a date yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did see that there are leaked images.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, with like some spoilers and stuff. But
I'm gonna go get some food. I'm gonna let you go. Same thing next week, maybe with Nick.
Same thing. Yeah,
okay,
probably
cool.
with Nick. I would think so.
All right,
man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, peace out.
See ya.